Hello, everybody. And let me ask you a question. If you ever said, a lot of you say, I want to get in real estate, but, right? This is a common thing that I hear. A lot of time I talk with people, yeah, I wanted to get in real estate for 30 years ago, but. And so let's address those but comments. Okay, what comes after that, and how we can actually, I can give you some training on how to debunk those but or how to get over them. That maybe that's going to give you some groundbreaking truth on what you need to do to move past that so you can finally get into real estate. Now, we're talking about rentals this week, but this also can apply to wholesaling, fix and flip, or anything else that you're doing, that you need to understand what keeps you stuck. So the first of all is, yes, I want to get in real estate, but I am afraid of losing money. What if I lose money, right? I've worked so hard for my money in my life. I've done so many things. I don't want to get myself where I take a step back. And so it's about truth is in the numbers. So like Warren Buffett says, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing, right? So is know what to do, know what numbers you're looking for, get educated on analyzing deals. Be conservative with your numbers, right? Paper and numbers don't lie. So sit down, look at the numbers, see what you do, make a plan on what targets you want to reach. Okay. So, for example, let's say that if you want to accrue $5,000 in passive income from real estate, from rentals, and you know that based on your location, you need to have 10 doors, okay? 10 doors meaning 10 single family or 5 duplexes, whatever the case might be, where you get a rental income of 500 per door, just to make things number. It could be anywhere from 250 to over 500, depending on your location, on what you can get on your rentals. But let's say for 500, that's 10 doors. So now you know that your buy box has to be that you get these rentals that are going to give you at least $500 per door. Okay. And that has to fit into your criteria. Now, you also have to understand that your baseline is important. Some areas can give you 500 per door, and some areas can give you less per door, some areas can give more. So that's all part of studying, researching the area where you want to invest. But then once you have the information and you have your buy box and you know how many properties you need and what numbers you need to meet, then you just do that, right? So the fear of losing money is because you don't know what you're doing when you're analyzing deals, and you know how to be conservative in analyzing deals, and you put yourself, put things over your head so that you get to leverage, for example. So you're not going to lose money if you use really tested processes on analyzing deals. You know what your numbers are. You stick to your criteria and buy box. And that goes for anything with real estate. Goes if you buy properties at auction. Goes if you buy property to fix and flip, and you have to set up a budget and so forth, right? So numbers don't lie. Stick with your numbers. Stick with your buy box, depending on what area that you're doing, what you're doing, and so forth. So there is no losing money. And I can share with you honestly that in almost 4 decades in the business, I've never lost money in real estate. Sometimes I made a little profit instead of a lot, but I never lost money. And I can say this with all my heart, okay, honestly. So because I stuck to numbers and a buy box. Now, number 2, I don't know enough. I don't know where to get started. I don't know what I need to do, okay? So my thing is, you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to see the next step. Okay. So a lot of people, when you come into this business, you want to know everything. You go out there and you study all this training and YouTubes and podcasts. And, if you get a coaching program, you go through everything. That's the worst thing you can do, because you're going to overwhelm yourself. There is no way you can contain all that information. When you went to school, when you went to high school, you didn't learn 5 years of curriculum in the first month, right? It took you 5 years. And I'm not saying that in real estate it's going to take you 5 years, but you have to take gradually. So see the next step. Okay, what's the first step? I need to choose the area where I'm going to get my rental properties. Okay, I chose the area because now I know how much cash flow I can get per door, and that fits into my buy box. The next thing I know, okay, now I need to start looking at deals and analyzing deals. So I'm going to learn on that. I'm going to focus on learning how to find deals and analyzing deals. Next, okay, now I need to get financing arranged. How am I going to get the money? What type of money combination am I going to work with? Am I going to do owner financing? I'm going to use partnerships. I'm going to use bank financing. I'm going to use my IRA, whatever it is, subject to lease option, whatever your case might be. Now, where's the money coming from? But you see, I don't think ahead what I'm going to do next. I think about the next step in front of me and really get good at mastering the step and then the next step and so forth, right? So that's why it's important that if you say, I don't know enough yet, well, you don't have to know everything, but you just have to be a step ahead of where you are now and take the step and master the step and then move forward. Now, the third fear is, I don't have money or credit. Okay, I said, well, that sounds great and dandy, but where am I going to get the money? One of the things I also said in yesterday's videos, right? Where there is a will, there is a way. So once you put your intentions out there of what you're going to do, what properties you want, how much money you want to generate on a monthly level right now, what is more important to you, then once you put yourself out there, things are going to start happening almost by serendipity. You're going to be the right place at the right time. You're going to meet the right people that are going to partner or give you the money. You're going to meet the owners that are willing to finance. You're going to meet there, but you have to take the step with full confidence. And this is the other thing. Have confidence in yourself. I see a lot of that lacking, especially with ladies. I was talking this morning on a podcast with somebody who were interviewing me, and they asked me, why do you want to coach women? And I was like, because simply women have different fears. Women have fears, limiting beliefs, lack of confidence, are looking for acceptance and validation instead of relying on the support of the people that understand what we're trying to do. So the fact is, the fact of you having the money is because the society makes you think that way, right? You have to work, you have to have savings, you put in a 20% down payment, it takes money to make money, all of that, which is true to a certain extent, but it also stops you in your tracks before you get started, okay? Because if you have a dream and you have a goal and you say you want to make $5,000 a month and you go out there and put everything in place to get the 5,000, trust me, you go out there and situations will happen to support what you want to do. But you can't go out there if you doubt yourself. You have to think from the fact that you are expecting this to happen. You cannot think and dream and plan from a place where you think of, that's not going to happen, okay? So the fact is that you think, I don't have the money and I don't even know how to get the money, that's the wrong way to start. I'm going to put myself in the situation. I'm going to find the property. I'm going to have the conversation. I'm going to talk to the right people, and then the money will come, okay? So don't let that stop you. Now, the next fear I want to talk about, what if something goes wrong? I don't know what I'm doing. And, I hear all these horror stories when it comes to rentals about tenants, about property managers, about emergencies that need to happen in the middle of the night, okay? So that's why setting up systems is important from the first rental. So once you go out there and choose their area, you buy box, you start finding the leads, you know how to analyze deals, you put them under contract, you do your due diligence, all of these preliminary steps, then you're going to get to the fact that you're going to say, okay, what system am I going to put so I don't get myself into trouble? What management system? What collection system? You need to stick to a system. And that will, first of all, make your life easier. You can't make exceptions to the rule for every deal you make. You need to be consistent and also know what you're going to do, okay? So how am I going to have, how do you do that? Have checklists, have scope of work, have expectations on what needs to happen for every step. Who is going to pay the rent, where they're going to pay the rent, how you're going to collect the rent, how you're going to deal with the property manager, what they're going to get paid on, what is expected of them, maintenance people, what they need to do. And so you have all these systems and checklists and processes for every part of your department. So the thing is, things can go probably not right. I don't necessarily say they go wrong, but the thing is, then you can tweak and clean up the process, okay? But it's better you do it once you have 1 to 2 properties and then you set up a system than when you have 10 properties. Trust me, it's much harder, right? And now, last but not least is, what will people think? Okay. And this is one of the hard ones for women, because there is such a thing that is called fear of success. Fear of success is about really say, okay, if I really start accruing rentals and this is going to happen, what will people think? What my family think? What my friends will think? What will I think about myself? And that's what, sometimes you start and you see things happen in a positive way, and you're actually going to jeopardize because you're worried about that. Okay. So the first thing I always say, you can be your best friend or your worst enemy. So you have to make a decision. Are you going to be your best friend or your worst enemy? And then also is you need to fully trust yourself. Fully trust that if you follow a process, like we just talked about, you have a system, you know how to analyze, you have a buy box, you choose your area, and then you're going to go full force. And you're not going to look for approval. Like I said, you look for support, but not approval. Now, being in a community of like-minded women that are like you, thinking about real estate as building the life that they want, is the best thing, because then you have a community and we're all in the same boat, right? So find those communities and that can really support you and help you and encourage you, because they have the same belief system that you want. And that's the thing, you're going to progress, you're going to change as an individual through this process. You're going to become another version of yourself. By the same token, this part of life, that's what you're here for. This is why you're in this world, because you want to expand, you want to become another version of yourself. And so don't worry about people think. The more important is what you think about yourself, what you think about your dream. And guard your dream, guard your goals. These are yours. Okay, it's not anybody else's, these are yours. And then you need to really cultivate them and guard them. So hopefully this gave you some insight. So like I said, your number one fear is what if I lose money? We addressed that. We addressed how I don't know enough yet. How do I even start? I don't have money or credit. And what if something goes wrong? And last but not least, what will people think? So, revise this recording. I think it's very important that you work through each ones, because they're the biggest fears that encounter women that get into real estate. But since we're talking about rentals, I'm going to make it specific to rentals. Now, if you're interested to learn more about helping us with the community and the tools to really expand into the rental strategy, comment rentals to wealth. Again, comment rentals to wealth. And into the comment for wherever you're going to watch this video, and our team will reach out to you and get you more information. No pressure there, just to learn more about you, what you're trying to do, and how we can help you with our REIW community. Thank you. Hopefully this helped. Don't forget to drop any feedback too about how this video might help you. And also, if you have any questions or feedback, it's always welcome. Take care.